I'm married. I've got 3 kids under the age of 5. I am busy, and I have been in healthcare for 15 years. I've always been super independent and career driven and always all about wanting to level up, climb that ladder. And then I had kids and everything changed. I was like, how am I supposed to leave this teeny tiny little baby at the daycare or the sitters? But I didn't know that there was an option. So I just kept doing it. I did that with baby number 1 and baby number 2. And then I had baby number 3, and I had so much anxiety and guilt. And I was like, I cannot do this. Just didn't understand why. I was busting my butt. I was doing the overtime, but we were still drowning in debt. I was still drowning in all that mom guilt. So I was like, something's got to give. And I saw it all over the place. And I was like, why not me? Why not? So I kind of just had to get out of my own way because I wanted more for us. For a side gig, I've tried so many different things. I've tried different makeup and health and wellness. And I had my own boutique for a while. And I call those they were kind of like a Band-Aid. It did help. It brought in some extra income, but it pulled me away from my kids even more. We talked about a 2-hour workday, but to me, the most beautiful part about that 2-hour workday is I can split it up. And I do. I listen to our daily video while I'm doing the breakfast dishes after I get my girls out the door for school. And then I make a piece of content in the school pickup line while I'm waiting for my girls to be released because the baby's usually content in the car seat. And then I go live during nap time. So I'm able to break this up and put it in the pockets of my day, while being myself, sometimes I do it with a baby on my hip and peanut butter on my shirt, and the toys and the noise and chaos and everything, because that's just me, and it works for that. I realize how stressed I was, but looking back, I feel like the person that I was, stress was probably radiating off of me. Somebody would stand next to me and be like, oh, she is a mess. But I just now, turns out I wasn't a bad mom. I was just burnt out, I was so overwhelmed. I was constantly nagging at my husband. I was snapping at my kids because I was stretching myself too thin. And so when I took control of that and figured out my time is valuable and I can use it better, I've been able to be that mom that my kids can play with Play-Doh now and I'm not sitting there with an eye twitch, they can have loud dance parties and I'm not just okay, is it over? They get to just be kids being kids. The peace of mind, the ability to just breathe is something that I, first of all, didn't even realize how much I was lacking it until I'm getting to experience it. And I'm like, man, I don't know how I went so long without it. I don't want to do it again. I did a little bit of everything, but always in healthcare. So anything digital marketing, anything in this space felt scary. It was a brand new world. So I needed something that was going to give it to me in bite-sized pieces, that wasn't going to feel overwhelming, that was going to give me support needed. So there's a couple reasons. I love the coaching that we get throughout the week, but even more than that, I love the daily videos. I know I touched on that a little bit, but just having them, like I said, in the bite-sized pieces, it makes it so much more manageable for me. And then of course, I'm not good at tech. My daughter runs the TV remote better than I do. I am so bad. So the fact that we have tech support, I was okay, but I can do that. And it just felt, it felt right. I felt aligned with it. I could see, the biggest thing is I could see the value in it. There's so much value in it that I don't ever, it's crazy when somebody purchases this from me. I just know now the sky's the limits for them. And I can't wait to see what they do with it. And I know that for me too, but there's not. I just paid off my Suburban 3 years early. 3 years early. I've paid off $30,000 worth of debt just in the last 6 months. 12 months ago, we didn't even have an emergency fund. We couldn't get gas and groceries in the same day. And $30,000 worth of debt gone. Yes, I've made $98,000, but I would give away every dime of that if it meant that I got these moments. I wanted these so much, and I didn't know it was in the cards for me. For the longest time, I sat around jealous. I sat around seeing people on social media and I was like, oh, they're going on vacation again. They're out to dinner. She just got a new outfit, got her hair done. It must be nice. And stop, just stop being jealous and be inspired, because it is nice. It is nice and you deserve it. Literally every single person deserves that, deserves all of those things. So, your time is valuable. And that's something that I never experienced before, especially in healthcare, like being in a pandemic, we got sick and they're like, you know what, we'll just put you on the COVID ward because you're already sick. And I was like, wait, what about my sick kids? And they're like, no, it's my problem. So, it is okay to want more. I, for the longest time, thought that by saying like I wanted more out of life, it meant that I was ungrateful for the things that I do have. And that's not the case at all. Like, it is okay to want more out of life. And there is a way that you can be present and provide. Like, you don't have to choose. That's just what I want everybody to know that, because I didn't. It took me years to accept that.